What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. This week is the Sephora VIB sale. The last couple of times this sale rolled around, I just kind of tossed my hands up in the air and said, fuck it, let's try filming a video about this and see if anybody cares. And you guys actually seem to really enjoy the videos. So I've made a habit of doing them every time the sale comes around, and the sale starts this week. I don't know exactly when you are going to be seeing this video because I haven't really planned out my filming schedule for the rest of the week. But when you see this, the sale will have either just started or is about to start. It starts for VIB Rouge members on the 26th and then rolls out for the lower tiers of membership as the week goes on. I will put all of the details of that in the description down below in case you are curious exactly what dates and exactly what percentage you get if you are just a Rouge member or a VIB Rouge or whatever the different tiers are. I don't even remember at this point. But yeah, I'll list that all in writing down below because if I say it out loud, you're not gonna remember. I don't even remember. It's just better that way. A couple things before we get into it. This is not necessarily a favorites video because this is limited to products that I would recommend from Sephora specifically. And also, this is not an all-encompassing video of everything I would recommend because the stuff that I recommended in the previous two videos definitely still stands. Like, everything I've recommended in those videos is not just stuff that I'm loving at the moment. I try really hard to make these videos about stuff that I feel like I can recommend universally. So I will also link those videos on the screen at various points and also in the description down below. So if you want to check out all of the things I could possibly recommend to you in the Sephora VIB sale, then you can go watch those too. And I mean, these will hopefully be mostly new ones. I definitely think I have one or two repeats in here, but for a specific reason, which I will get into later. I tried to use a lot of the things that I'm recommending on my face today so that you guys could get like a little bit of a peek into why I like them so much. Oh, and also I am going to timestamp in the description where I start the makeup stuff and the skincare section because I split it into two sections. That way, if you're really looking for skincare and you don't really care that much about the makeup recommendations, you could skip around or whatever. So we're gonna start with makeup first. Before we get into it, please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second to do that because it helps me out in a tremendous way. And if you are new here and maybe you've been lurking through a few videos and you just haven't committed to subscribing yet, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button because it brings my heart lots of joy. And I don't know, I think it'll be a good time for you too. So with that being said, I think that's all we need to get out of the way, all the housekeeping before we get into it. Let's get started on the makeup section of the recommendations first. Okay, first thing in the makeup section, this is something that I've been talking about quite a bit lately. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I did a review video on this pretty recently, but I've been using it consistently for probably about a month now. And honestly, I think this is most likely gonna replace all of my other primers for quite a while. Personally, I usually tend to gravitate toward primers that A, combine well with a lot of things because I switch my foundation a lot, B, provide a little bit of like a grippy base to make my makeup wear longer, but mostly that they kind of give my face a little bit of hydration because I find that my foundation always looks better when it sits over a well-hydrated base of skin. This one ticks all the boxes for me. I love the packaging because I feel like it's very clean and very neat and very functional and very sanitary. And just in general, I literally cannot find one thing that I don't like about this primer. I also wear it when I'm not wearing any foundation and just use it to give my face a little bit of hydration. It seems to calm my skin a lot. It makes me look nice and dewy, and I pop a little bit of highlight over this on bare skin when I'm wearing just like really minimal makeup, and it looks so good. So definitely something I would grab in the sale if you are looking to stock up on primers. Since we're talking about face, I'm just gonna continue going with this theme for now. This is the COVERFX Perfector Face Palette. I am obsessed with this palette right now for a couple of reasons. Now, there's one item here that I actually don't like, but everything else is absolutely fantastic. I got this in my BoxyCharm, I think last month, and I have been obsessed with this palette for daily use ever since. I use the contour shade for the contour on my cheeks and the contour on my nose. These two highlighters are absolutely beautiful. I'm wearing them right now, and as you can see, it's like a really beaming wet highlight, and it's a really nice like glossy skin sort of a texture. The two things in the middle though are like what make this super interesting. So there is a finishing powder here, which is very similar to the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders. It's subtle, but it has a little bit of a glow to it. But I love this powder to like blend the edges of my contour, and also I like to pop it underneath my eyes sometimes if I look a little bit dead, you know, like get ready some days and you're just like, wow, look a little corpse-like. What is going to be the pick-me-up that I need? Powders like this are great for that, and this one in particular is really beautiful. It looks great on the skin. And then up here in this teensy little baby section is called the Brightener, and you can pop this on the center of any of the highlights. I actually didn't do that yesterday, so I'm going to show you right now. Pop it on the end of my nose. It literally is just like a very, very bright, like extra strong highlight that you can pop in the center of your other highlights after you put them down, and it just intensifies it, and it just works so beautifully. I absolutely love this palette so much. I use it every day. However, I don't really like the blush, and it's not that the blush is bad quality or anything. It's just a color that does not, the color is just not cute on me. There actually is another variety of this palette that is meant for deeper skin tones than mine, so there is like a little bit of leeway, and I don't know what the blush color is like in that palette, but in this palette, that color is just something about it. It's just not happening on my skin. But everything else in here, fantastic. If you are looking for a contour and highlight palette for convenience sake that is going to be really good quality, love it. As far as like fun, colorful stuff is concerned, I have two major recommendations for you guys. This will come as no surprise, I'm sure, because I did 2 3 looks videos with this palette. This is the Kat Von D Lolita palette. First of all, the packaging on this, I'm still not over it. It's so damn cute. I love the colors. I love the color scheme of this palette, and the quality is really just unbelievable. It's so good. I'm wearing it on my eyes right now. I'll zoom you guys in so you can see the loveliness. The colors are just such nice, soft shades that are like deep enough, but also there's shades that are like super soft. They're easy to blend. They're not neutrals, but they're not like super colorful either. So it's somewhere right in between. I get so much use out of these colors. It's ridiculous. And I think the reason I get so much use out of this palette is because it is close to neutrals, but it's not quite. So I don't feel like I'm being super boring, but I also don't feel the pressure of like combining a bunch of colorful shades that have to make sense together. Everything in here is very monochromatic. Everything works together, and I get a little hint of color that like wakes up my face and gives me like kind of a pop of color sort of a look, but I don't really have to think that hard about it. Not to mention they blend so easily. I absolutely adore this palette. Oh, and the other thing I really like about this palette, the darkest shades in here, and you guys will have seen me do this if you watched my 3 looks videos with this palette, the darker shades are like so richly pigmented, but not dusty, that you can use them as an eyeliner so easily. I just take them on like an angled brush and like stamp them along my lash line, even wing it out, and it's just like easy peasy eyeliner to go along with the look. I've traveled with this a bunch of times, and it has been super duper handy while traveling. I just can't recommend this enough, and I think it would be an excellent choice to get in the sale. So the next thing is not an item, it's actually an entire collection. When I realized that this item was going to become available at Sephora during the VIB sale, I just thought, oh my god, it is like the gods have smiled upon us. DECAY Game of Thrones collection. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure that most of you guys are aware that I was really stoked for this collection. Again, I've done 2 videos doing 3 looks each with this collection. You guys know that I geeked out mega hard over this. So obviously, if I didn't already have it, it's something that I would be looking at during this 20% off sale. This goes for sale on Sephora on the 29th of April, and the VIB sale for Rouge members starts on the 26th. So if you are in the Rouge category, you will be able to get in there when it first goes on sale on Sephora and get the 20% off discount on it. You're gonna have to be a Rouge member probably, because I'm assuming that it's gonna sell out quickly before the rest of the sale portion starts. But if you can, hello. But if you are a Rouge member and your sale starts on the 26th, I would personally recommend waiting those 3 days and waiting till the 29th when this launches to make your order. Because A, if you missed the launch on the Urban Decay website and it's sold out on there, this is your chance to get it. And B, if you're gonna get it and you've been waiting around and hemming and hawing about it, why not do it with 20% off? It just makes sense. So I figured I would mention to you guys that this is gonna be available during the sale because hello, I would wanna know that. The next item is also from Urban Decay and it's not quite as exciting as the Game of Thrones collection, but it's also something that I recommend because I use it so much. This is the Urban Decay Brow Blade. Again, this is something that I've reviewed before. I'll link all the reviews here on the screen and I'll also try to remember to put them in the description. But the Brow Blade is basically a double-ended brow product that is one side a little liquid pen tip that just draws on beautiful little strokey hairs, and the other side is a waterproof brow pencil. It is so easy to use, it is so waterproof, it is so long wearing, and I also use this to fill in moles and create freckles all the time. It helps so much with that. I literally have pretty much not put this down since I got it. I kind of go between using the shades Brunette Betty, which is the one I have in my hand, and Dark Drapes. Those are the two darkest shades. One is just a little bit darker and cooler. Dark Drapes is the darker, cooler one. But since I've got this, this has been my absolute go-to brow product. I have worn this brow product in situations where nobody should ever be wearing makeup ever. I've worn it to spin class, I've worn it to kickboxing classes, I've worn it hiking, I've worn it in a pool. Like literally everything that you can imagine where your makeup should come off your face, I have worn this brow product and my brows have stayed on the whole day. I do also set it with the Benefit 24-hour brow setter, which I happen to have right here. It was not on my list of things that you should get in the sale, but if you need a brow gel, highly recommend, by the way. But yeah, this is the easiest brow product ever. It looks so good and it also stays on like forever and ever, and I could not recommend it more. This next one might be a repeat from my last video about the VIB sale. These are the French press glosses from Bite Beauty, and I love them with my whole entire heart. This is the shade Dirty Chai. I'm wearing it on my lips right now. And this is the color Flat White, which is kind of a little bit too pale for me to wear on its own, but paired over a liner or just like in the center over a lipstick or a gloss, oh my god. They just have such a beautiful, juicy looking finish that it is somehow still really light and thin on the lips, and for some reason they wear super well. The other night I went out to dinner and I wore Dirty Chai over a lip liner, and somehow after I ate my entire meal, there was still color on my lips. I don't understand how that works. I don't get it. There must be just so much pigment in it that it sits on your lips even after like the glossiness is gone, because they weren't really that shiny anymore, but there was clearly still lip color on my lips, and I didn't fill in the whole thing with liner. Like I just lined the outside. So it's amazing. It smells like coffee, which so good. I love coffee so much, and I know that's like the most like cliche like girl thing to say, like oh my god, I love coffee so much, but truly I just love the taste and the smell of coffee so much. Like I love coffee candles, I love the smell. Like if I walk past a coffee place, like oh my god, for some reason, if you want to like get my belly all like butterfly-y and like nostalgia-y, and I don't know why this happens, but like if I walk past the smell of coffee when I'm in an airport, it like gets all these emotions flowing for me. I don't know why. That's so weird, but it just is what it is. But yeah, anyway, I like the smell of these a lot. These are they're just so beautiful. And just for an example of how pretty they are, I put this on around a bunch of other bloggers and people who are around makeup all the time, and literally every single person in the room asked me what I was wearing on my lips. That's how lovely this looked. Like of all the things that all of us could be wearing, this simple pretty lip gloss, everybody needed to know what it was. Now this next one is definitely a repeat, but I'm mentioning it for a specific reason. So this is the Bite Lip Mask. My personal favorite is this flavor. This is the maple one. I've mentioned this a million times before and why I love it, but I'll just run through the reasons again real quick. It's very thick, it's very hydrating, it wears all day, it looks really glossy on the lips, and it really, really conditions your lips. It also wears longer than most lip products, even though it looks like a gloss. It's fantastic and I love everything about it. But the reason that I'm mentioning it is because personally, I am going to be stocking up on this version of it because they are reformulating it. So they're reformulating it to make it vegan, which means they are taking the lanolin out of it, and the lanolin is the first ingredient on the list, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be good anymore, but I would imagine that it's probably going to be different. And just in case I don't like the new version as much, I'm going to stock up on a tube or two of this during the sale because I just want to make sure that I still have it in my life, because this version of it has such a special place in my heart, and I really do feel like it works so much better than a lot of other lip products. So I want to make sure that I still have it for a while, just in case. And the last makeup item on the list is this here eyeshadow that I am wearing on my inner corners, which I will zoom in again so that you guys can get a better look at that. This is the STILA Glitter and Glow Liquid Shadow in the color Wanderlust, and I originally saw Raw Beauty Christy recommend this, and I went out and bought it on her recommendation, and I was absolutely blown away at the color of it. It is, in person, sort of like a pink champagne shifting glitter. On camera, it looks mostly pink. In person, it definitely has like a very an intriguing sort of a color shift to it. Like you kind of like want to look at it and think to yourself, I'm not sure exactly what color that is, but I know that I like it. Personally, I find that this is like that one item that if I have it on hand, I can make any sort of a look better. So if I do an eye look and I'm like, this is missing something, I pop a little Wanderlust on it. If I do an eye look and I'm like, I need a little bit more life in my inner corners, Wanderlust. That's what I did today. I feel like I need some more dimension in the look, or I want the center of the lid to pop, Wanderlust in the middle. If I want to do a look where I don't do much, I just wipe something across my lid and call it a day and pop on some lashes, do it with Wanderlust. Honestly, this is one of the most versatile, just generally overall pretty shadows that I own. This is like the one that I just keep on my desk next to where I do my daily makeup all the time, just in case, because it needs to be there because I need to use it. That's all for makeup items, but I have some skincare written down here for you guys, so let's get into that portion. This also may be a repeat, but it's a worthy repeat. This is the Summer Fridays Overtime Mask. It is a pumpkin enzyme mask. I'm pretty sure that I have talked about this before because as I'm saying those words, I remember them coming out of my mouth previously. This is a quick mask. You only leave it on for 10 minutes. It has like a little bit of like a scrubbing property to it. It definitely has like little grits in it, but the exfoliation mainly comes from the pumpkin enzyme that's in there. And essentially what it does is just leave you with a refreshed face when you need it. So my favorite time to use this is after I get off an airplane. Literally the first thing I do when I get to any hotel or wherever I'm staying is I use this, because you know when you get off an airplane and your skin feels like it's simultaneously the greasiest it's ever been, but also super dry and scaly at the same time. This is like my quick fix for that. If I have time, I combine it with their jet lag mask too and just moisturize after. In general, I like doing this first and then doing a really hydrating mask after, but even just on its own, this is like a lifesaver. And it's not just for like after I get off an airplane and I feel greasy and dry at the same time. Anytime I feel like my skin needs a reset, I reach for this. I put it on. It's like guaranteed to make my makeup sit better on my face if I use this that day, because it just leaves the most soft, soothed canvas. And I literally tell everybody that I know about this to the point where they're probably like, what is wrong with you? It is just a face mask. Next up is the Emerald Oil from HERBIVORE Skincare. This is a CBD cannabis-based facial oil. It also has a high amount of squalene in it, which, fun fact, is very similar to your body's natural oils that it produces on its own. I find that this oil is extremely hydrating, extremely soothing, and when I put it on under my moisturizer at night, it makes me like a plump little dewy baby when I wake up in the morning. It is so nice. Basically about halfway through this bottle right now, so it won't last you forever, but it doesn't go super quickly either, which is great. A little bit goes a long way. It is very, very rich oil. When you put it on, it doesn't feel like, you know, some oils really absorb super quickly into your face. This one definitely feels like you can almost skip putting a moisturizer over it at night and it would still feel like you have enough on your skin to go to bed and not feel dry, if that makes sense. What I usually do is I alternate between this and my Sunday Riley Luna Oil, because Luna Oil is a retinol and I don't feel like I need to use a retinol every single day. Kind of makes me a little bit too dry if I do that. So I alternate back and forth between that one and this one. This is by far my favorite facial oil that is not a retinol. So this one, love this. Will definitely be repurchasing this 100%, no question. I also like some other CBD skincare items that I have been testing out for the last month or two. They are not available at Sephora, so I can't put them in this video, but if you guys ever want to know about skincare stuff, I'll include it in another video, or I'll talk about it on Instagram stories and stuff, and I'll let you know the details. Next, I have two serums, but they're kind of one thing because I recommend both of these, but you don't need both of them. Does that make, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? These both basically take the same place in my skincare routine. One is the LANCOME Youth Activating Concentrate. I absolutely love this stuff. They sent me a few bottles of this, like a big bottle and then like two of these little bottles, I think like 6 months ago. And I have gone through all of them because I absolutely love it. However, it's very expensive. It's fantastic. It like really, I feel like, you know, I was not a serum convert for the longest time. Like I didn't really feel like having a serum in my skin routine made any difference. But ever since I started using this one, I feel like there's a big difference. Anytime I don't use it, I'm like, I feel like my skin isn't as good the next day. I like to use this in the morning as well as at night, which is why I've gone through it so quickly, because in the morning, I don't like to put on a heavy moisturizer. I just like to cleanse my skin and then just throw something on that's a little bit hydrating and nourishing for my skin. This is my go-to. But like I said, it's super, super expensive. So a very similar item that I've been experimenting with using in place of the LANCOME one, if I don't feel like shelling out the money for a new one of those, is the Ordinary The Buffet. This is only $14.99 as opposed to $100 for the full-size bottle of the LANCOME one. The ingredients, I've checked them on like one of those online cross-checkers that looks at the ingredients of skincare for you, and they are not exactly the same, but they do have a lot of similar ones, and the main ingredient in each one is like a weird fermentation of stuff that's supposed to be really good for your skin, which makes sense to me as to why I feel like they're so similar. I have been experimenting with using the Buffet. I really, really like this one as well. Obviously, I don't know over time which one has better benefits for your skin, but I do know that I really like this one and it is so much more affordable. And also my husband likes this one and he hates putting on skincare. So anytime that he likes something, it feels like it makes a difference. And I know that like it's not complete nonsense that I'm just putting in my own head because I like to spend money on skincare. But yeah, whether you go for the LANCOME pricey one or the Ordinary The Buffet, I think those are both absolutely fantastic, and I'm so excited that they sell the Ordinary at Sephora now because it makes it a lot more accessible and we get to buy it in their sale. And the very last item for today, I know this went so quickly, I can't believe it's over already. The Saint-Tropez Self Tan Purity Foam. This is my favorite tanner of all time. And I'll tell you why. It's not because it specifically looks the best out of any tanner, because to be honest with you, I feel like if it was a shade darker for the summer, I would like it a little bit more. But this is the easiest self tan I have ever used. So the fact that it's clear means that you would think that it'd be really difficult to get it even over your whole body, but for some reason it gives you a lot of leeway. It doesn't get patchy very easily, and I think it's because it's not intense. So maybe it not being darker is actually a good thing, but it is clear and it's not sticky. So you could put it on and then just get dressed once it's dry and then go about your life like a normal human being, and it develops and you don't have to take a shower after. I can't even tell you how much more often I wind up doing my fake tan with this because of the convenience of it, because before this I was using the Express 2-hour one, and it looks great and everything, but I have to put it on and then sit there and be like patchy and like that weird color guide shade that's not the color of the tan that you're gonna get anyway, and just sit around for a couple of hours, and like who the hell has time to do that all the time? Not me, I certainly don't. I guess you could probably do it a couple of days in a row and like build it up if you wanted to as well. The only thing I have to say about this that is kind of nonsense is they try to say that it doesn't smell bad, but like, it smells bad, man. It smells pretty fucking bad. It's so gross. When you first put it on, it does smell like their floral tropical scent. I'll give them that. But after a while, you kind of smell like old cereal in an ashtray, like any other self-tanner. So yeah, I mean, you're not gonna smell like roses, but maybe it's not as strong as some self-tanners. It's definitely not as bad as going for a spray tan. That shit stinks. But yeah, this has been my favorite tanner right now. I highly recommend it if you are a lazy person who likes to have a little bit of a glow and you're not necessarily really good at applying it yourself. This is definitely a go-to. So those are my VIB sale recommendations for spring 2019. Like I said, if you want more recommendations, you want more color products, because in the last video, I definitely added in more palettes and stuff, please feel free to click here on the screen or in the description down below and go and watch those previous videos. Like I said, I stand by those products 100%. I would still recommend those for the sale all the way. I just don't want to repeat them today because that would be a little bit redundant. Please go ahead and leave your recommendations for the sale in the comments down below, because I would love to add on to the recommendations for people in the community to have more that they could possibly find in the sale that they might like. That would be fantastic. And also, I just love hearing what you guys like and why, because it kind of helps me wrap my head around what you guys enjoy, which is always good for here on this channel. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you found it helpful, or if you just enjoyed watching it, or if you just like my face, or you just feeling generous today, because it helps me out and I always appreciate it. And also, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We have so many more videos coming down the line. They're coming fast and they're coming hard. That sounds aggressive, but it's just true. If you would like to keep up with me between videos, I'm at Ms. Quinface pretty much on every other social media in the whole wide world, but the one that I use the most is Instagram. I like to update my stories all the time, behind the scenes, Q&As, what's coming on this channel. It's all announced over there on my stories. And also, I like to post other more creative stuff over there, so if you're into that, you may enjoy following my feed. That is all for now. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for hanging out with me and talking makeup for a little bit, and I will see you in the next one.